Your Matsu Miners are on the road, but still on the grind. It's Matsu Miners Baseball, and it's next on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Welcome into the Miners pregame show, brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Here's the voices of the Miners, Kevin Peel and Kyle Howard.
On Thursday night in the Miners' final tune-up at home before the top of the World Series, the Miners fell in tough fashion to their division rival, the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, to close out their regular season series against each other. After taking a 3-2 lead in the seventh on a Jed Fag two-run double, Adalberto Carrillo answered the ninth with a two-run bases-loaded double of his own to score 2 runs and give the Pilots a 4-3 lead. It was the second rough outing in a row for Caleb McCann, who up until Tuesday night hadn't given up a run in more than a month. But tonight, McCann and the Miners look to get back on the winning track after a 3-3 homestand, looking to finish out the regular season strong and on their game going into the top of the World Series on Monday evening. Hello and welcome on out to Coral Seymour Memorial Park in the scenic Kenai, Alaska. You are listening to the Napa Auto Parts pregame show on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. I'm Kevin Peel, joined beside me by my partner, Kyle Howard. We are ready to bring you some exciting ABL action as the 20-24, 18-19 Peninsula Oilers host the 32-11 and 29-10 Matsu Miners on the banks of the Gulf of Alaska in the final regular season Saturday night contest here at Coral Seymour. We talked about the previous 2 meetings being rough so far for Caleb McCann and giving up a couple runs, that big double on Tuesday night, and also having the rough outing and giving up the double to Adalberto Carrillo on Thursday night, Kyle. But going into this is a big opportunity for Caleb McCann to get some of that momentum pushing forward back, even though he's a very confident pitcher and the skipper, Ben Taylor, has full confidence in him. How important is it to give Caleb McCann an appearance, at least in this series, to get him back in the right track with being ready momentum-wise for the top of the World Series?
Well, it's very important, Kevin. It's been really 2 rough outings in a row for Caleb McCann, and really none of them have been bad outings for him. If you look at it, the way he's pitched, at least, you look in the box score, it seems terrible for him. But really, a couple pitches that really arguably weren't bad pitches. The ball that was hitting for a triple off the bat of Kyle Watson that would end up winning the Pilots game a couple of days. The first time around, that was a pitch that was actually out of the zone that Kyle Watson chased and sent over the center fielder Caruso's head. That was initially looked like it might have been playable for Caruso out there, but he misplayed the ball a little bit and just didn't have a good read on it. It really wasn't a misplay. It was the ball was tough to read, hit right at him. So it was, in that sense, it's really a bad way for McCann to be credited with that run. But just the other night, the Miners were just an out away from getting out of it, 2 outs in the 9th inning, and they had a 1-run lead in that one. The ball skipped over the base umpire Rob Mays' Tim Davis was the umpire at the time. The ball would skip under his legs and make a tough play for Tanner Nishioka. That would load the bases, and then Carrillo would hit the double to give the Pilots the win, and the Miners ended up losing that game because of that. So really, a couple of bad breaks for the Miners and McCann, and really, it might hurt his confidence a little bit, but in a game like this, really could come back and help him out.
The last matchup between the Oilers and the Miners was not so pretty in Palmer. The Miners scored 17 runs on 17 hits en route to a 17-1 victory over the Oilers. It was not a very good night in the field either for the Oilers. They committed 4 errors and really put themselves in a hole. With that, all of that being said, how do the Oilers come out energized tonight, realizing how far they are out of the playoff picture and acknowledging how easily the Miners have handled them, especially in the past 2 matchups between these two?
Well, Kevin, I think they use it as a chip on their shoulder. For one, you said they're out of playoff contention, and that's true. However, that's more of a reason, I think, to play these last 2 games out strong. It's the last 2 games they're going to get a chance to play this season, so why not finish out strong and win those last 2 games against the Miners? That's the mindset of the Oilers tonight. They want to go out and win these next 2 games and get out of here on a high note. it certainly started off well for them. The middle of the stretch of the year really wasn't great for the Oilers, but they're able to bounce back and get back, at least leave with a positive note once they head back to their schools respectively. But it's answering back to the fact that they'd lost 17-1. I'm sure that's a little bit of a chip on their shoulders as well. Certainly didn't like to go down like that. And at the time, really they were still in playoff contention, so certainly a bad loss for them at the time, and I'm sure they want to avenge that tonight.
If you look at the lineup card, you'll notice a couple big Miners, the Miners sluggers in the batting race, having nights off tonight, Alex Caruso and also Brick Paskowitz. It gives opportunities to those players that haven't gotten quite as much playing time and opportunity to get some more time tonight. How important is it specifically for Caruso and Paskowitz to get this extra day off, to get them rested and ready to go for the top of the World Series?
Well, it's important. It's important, I think, because it's tonight. Tomorrow allows them to get back on the field tomorrow and really get into the swing of things heading into the top of the World Series and start getting on a roll. They need an off day. It's important to get some rest every once in a while to stay in good health at least. And I think it's something the Miners have been fortunate with in a lot of ways this year. Not everybody. There have been a couple injuries throughout this team, but for the most part, the Miners have stayed healthy this year, and that's what the skipper Ben Taylor is doing tonight, and giving those guys a day off, keeping them healthy tonight and for the next coming days as they head to the top of the World Series. Their focus is to win that top of the World Series, so they want to keep those guys healthy, but at the same time, give them an off night tonight, I think, so they can give a chance tomorrow to play and stay rolling then.
It's almost time for some Saturday evening baseball here in Kenai between the Miners and the Oilers. Later on the Napa Auto Parts pregame show, we will have the starting lineups for you. Coming up next, our pregame profile for today is with Miners lefty Calvin LeBron. Stay tuned. You're listening to Miners Baseball on the Miners Radio Network. Welcome on into the pregame profile here as the Miners about to set to take on the Oilers in just a little bit down here in Kenai. I'm Kevin Peel, joined alongside me by Calvin LeBron. Calvin, how you doing today?
Good. It's good to be in the town of Kenai. It's a small town, but it's an interesting place. So.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting place. When you look at it, you have a view of the ocean in your backyard here. Yeah, it's got to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We were checking that out earlier. We had lunch by there, so it's cool to see something different. You don't see that in Phoenix or a lot of places, so it's pretty cool to see.
And you guys are staying at the Bingo Hilton, a place with bunk beds, a different atmosphere for you from those beds at your host family's places, but still an interesting experience for you. And has it been a cool one at least so far?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, we're used to sleeping in our nice comfy beds at our host family, but this is fun. It's we're all together, we're bonding together, we're playing poker, that kind of stuff. So it's a good time.
So this is it. This is the last regular season series here against the Kenai Peninsula Oilers. You guys have had a lot of success against them so far this year, but this is a team that's really maybe trying to mess with your mojo a little bit since you guys have had some big wins against them. What's the key tonight to trying to get a win again?
Yeah, I think the key is just stay focused. Keep doing what we've been doing all year. Just swing fast well, pitch it well, and play defense. It's just something we've done all year, and I think everybody's just eager to get to Monday and get ready for the top of the World Series. But we got to finish out the regular season and keep playing well and just doing what we've done all year, and then we'll be ready to go.
And is there an additional challenge to playing these types of games that maybe don't mean as much in the standings, but they're important from the aspect of trying to keep you guys fresh?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, when you clinch as early as we did, it's kind of tough to keep your mind right and make yourself get ready for these games, just because they really don't mean anything except for overall statistical reasons. But I think it's good for us because it keeps us in our same routines, lifting, hitting before games, throwing like that, keeping our arms in shape. So I think these games, it's hard to get up from sometimes, but I think it's going to help us in the long run for the playoffs.
So I do have an interesting question for you here. Both the drives very scenic to Kenai and also to Fairbanks that you're able to go on about a week ago, a little over that now. Which one would you rank above the other?
I think Kenai was definitely the best. Fairbanks was pretty cool, but I think Kenai, when we first got out of Palmer, about an hour, we got to see the wildlife preserve and everything. We saw all the water from left and right. That was pretty special. Like I said, you just don't see any of this around here, so I think it's pretty cool to see all that stuff. So I would definitely rank Kenai above Fairbanks.
Calvin, let's talk a little bit about your numbers. This is your 4-1 overall record. You have a 1.30 ERA, which is good for 7th in the league. And I say 7th because that's just how dominating the pitching in this league has been. But are you happy with what you've been able to do and accomplish so far?
Absolutely, yeah. This is a good summer for me just to get confidence back. It was a rough year, my first year at Gonzaga. So really, what I wanted to come up here was just get confidence back and kind of go back to what I knew what was best and just do my thing and kind of get back into the groove of things. So yeah, I'm definitely pleased with what we've done, what I've done, but I'm also pleased with the team that we have, and it's easier to pitch well when you're on a team that's having fun and winning. So I think that what I wanted to do here, I've definitely hopefully only 4 more games left, and hopefully we can just finish this thing out and be champs.
And so you attended Gonzaga University. You've always had an interest in journalism. You said you were pushing towards trying to get a minor in that before. You seem pretty comfortable in front of the camera, though. I've had you on for the home run derby and certain things like that. What originally got you into liking journalism?
I think just high school, I started taking English classes and journalism classes, and just got really interested in writing about different things, not necessarily sports, but just different topics. Talking to people about different things. When you go and interview people, you have to be approachable and be able to ask different questions. So I think that was always just fun for me, just to be able to learn different things, not necessarily only about sports, but just life and the different topics in life. So it's always been a thing I've loved doing, and just basically just talking to people. That's what I like to do most.
And so this summer you've had the opportunity to work with first-year pitching coach Mac Reilly up here, a new guy to Alaska in terms of being with the minors, not a new guy in terms of being from here. He's from Juneau. But what has he been able to teach you that's been able to help you work on your game even more and improve?
Oh yeah, Coach Greeley's been awesome with all of us. I think he's young and he's more approachable than us. He's so young, and I think he's just helped me with little things with mechanical stuff, but more just having fun and then building that confidence up. Like like I said, when I came in here, it was a little lack of confidence just because of the year I had, but he's definitely got me up to where I need to be, and really helped me just with mechanical stuff and just different tweaks and stuff like that. So he's been awesome. Awesome coach. So,
thank you very much for joining
me.
This has been the pregame profile with Miners pitcher Calvin LeBrun. Welcome on out to Coral Seymour Memorial Park here in Kenai, Alaska. You're listening to Matsu Miners Baseball right here on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. I'm Kevin Peel alongside my partner Kyle Howard, ready to bring you all the exciting ABL action. Let's get you those starting lineups for the visiting Matsu Miners. Batting first and out in center field tonight will be Chris Hall. Batting second and at short, Tyler Wolf. Batting third and playing second base will be Jake Schleppenbach. Batting fourth and the DH for tonight's game, Matt Diorio. Batting fifth and out in right field, first start for him in right this year, Tanner Nishioka. Batting sixth and playing third base, Niles Nygaard. Batting seventh and playing first will be Jack Zellner. Batting eighth and catching will be J.J. Hancock. Batting ninth and out and left will be Connor Wanhanen with the starting pitcher tonight, James Harrington. We'll take a look around the outfield and infield for the home team, the Peninsula Oilers. Out and left will be Hector Rivera. In center field will be James Folks. In right field, Brian Room. At third base, Ted Boakey. At shortstop, Jimmy Galuski. At second base, Alex Seifert. At first base, J.D. Arrowwood. The catcher, Mark Sanchez. For the pitcher, Joe Mata, who is pitching in his seventh game of the year tonight, making start number 4. He has a 1-0 record with a .62 ERA, has logged 14 and a thirds innings, 10 strikeouts, 5 walks, and has given up 7 hits. That one decision that he had, he did not pitch in, but was the pitcher of record, actually in an 18-4 win over the Gold Panthers on July 2nd up in Fairbanks. Otherwise, no decisions for Joe Mata, the lefty out of Monrovia, California, and Cal State Bakersfield. It is a warm night and sunny night in Kenai, Alaska, with temperatures over 70 all day. Right now, 73 degrees, the game time temperature, and your first pitch at 6:07 is bunted down that third base line. It will be fielded by Boakey, but it will have no throw. And on the first pitch, Chris Hall will have a bunt single to open it up, and that will put a runner on, and a great start for the Miners. Ted Boakey thrown off by the bunt, but it was a great decision for the Miners here, Kyle.
Miners playing aggressively here against this Oilers team, trying to bunt and get aboard the base hit to start the game. That's what Chris Hall does, using his speed to get on the base pass. A runner on to start the game for the Miners.
And I'll bring up Tyler Wolf. Mata will throw over to check the runner Hall, who is back in safely. Chris Hall getting his 24th hit of the season there. Just was under 300 batting average coming into this game, but he gets a hit to start off things. Another throw over from Mata, and he's back in safely. So now Mata, his first pitch is high for a ball. The fastball from Mata, and the count now 1-0. Tyler Wolf on the season, 257 average, playing in his 42nd game of the season. He swings and fouls this one straight back, and the count now 1-1 on Tyler Wolf. Umpires for tonight's game, Tim Davis, and on the base paths, Rob Mays. Here comes that 1-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball. It's popped up into short right field. Calling off everyone is the second baseman, Alex Seifert, to make the play. Chris Hall will retreat back to first. And one gone now here in the top of the first. No score. That'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Jake Schleppenbach. Jake Schleppenbach getting his first start in the number 3 hole this season. He's played a lot of second base, switching on and off with Caleb Wood. Gets his first start here in that 3 hole. Chris Hall, a decent lead over there at first. And the first pitch to from Mata is a ball outside on a changeup. The count now 1-0. Already a mound visit here for Mark Sanchez, who comes out to have a quick chat with his left-handed pitcher. So now Chris Hall will get his lead over there at first. Lefty on lefty matchup here. And the 1-0 is a curveball that misses outside for a ball. And the count now 2-0 to Jake Schleppenbach. Schleppenbach, a 241 batter on the season, playing his 29th game. No homers and 12 RBIs. Has walked 7 times. And 1-1 pitch is another 2-0 pitch is a called strike. And the count now 2-1. It was a curveball at the knees. Ted Boki playing ever so slightly in at third base to guard against the bunt. Another throw over to check the runner, and Hall is back in safely.
Chris Hall leads the team in stolen bases, so Mata just wants to make sure he's honest over at first base and gives him a short lead, making sure nothing's going on over at first base with Hall.
Swung on and missed. Big curveball to Schleppenbach, and he swung through it. It was below the knees and just off the outside corner. So the count now 2-2. Here in the top of the first inning in Kenai, Alaska, Coral Seymour Memorial Park on a glorious Saturday evening for baseball. Throw over to check the runner, and once again, Chris Hall's back in safely. Now back to the task at hand, a 2-2 count to Jake Schleppenbach. And here's the pitch from Mata. Swung on and missed. Pulled the string on him with a changeup on the outside corner at the knees. And Joe Mata records his first strikeout of the game. 2 gone here now in the top of the first. No score. And now Matt Diorio will try and at least move up Chris Hall, who still stands over there at first base. Big strikeout for Joe Mata after giving up that quick bunt single to Chris Hall. Here comes the first pitch from Mata, and it's high and inside for a ball and a changeup. And the count now 1-0 on Matt Diorio. Miners in their camouflage jerseys with white pants and green socks. 1-0 is outside for a ball and another curveball. And the count now 2-0. The Oilers in their black jerseys with red lettering and numbers, white trim, black hats with red brims. That one misses low as well. And the count now 3-0 to Matt Diorio. Crowd still filing in here nicely on this last Saturday evening for baseball down here in Kenai. Throw over to check the runner. And once again, Chris Hall back in, this time standing. And the lefty Diorio facing the lefty Joe Mata. Here's the pitch. 3-0 is high for a ball. And he'll take a walk. That's the first walk issued of the game by Joe Mata. And now puts 2 runners on here with 2 outs. No score. The Miners threatening. They'll bring up Tanner Nishioka. Just the 6th walk of the year issued by Joe Mata. As Nishioka will step in. Right now, the average leader on this team for the Miners. 366, but not eligible for the batting title. Does not have enough at-bats yet this season. Takes a called strike with a curveball from Mata. And the count now 0-1. The top 2 in that batting title race, though, are Matsu Miners. Alex Caruso at 355 coming in, and Brick Paskowitz at 331. Top 2 averages in the league. This one's popped up into short center field. And coming on and calling off everyone to make the catch is the second baseman, Alex Seifert, to retire the side. So a bunt single and a walk. But they are stranded on the base paths for the Miners. We head to the bottom of the first. The Oilers coming to bat in a scoreless game here in Kenai. You're listening to Miners Baseball on the Miners Radio Network. Back for the bottom of the first inning, no score between the Matsu Miners and the Kenai Peninsula Oilers. As the lineup, as James Harrington, the starter for the Miners, his first pitch is fouled out of play down that right field line by Seifert. And the count now 1-0. Batting first and at second base will be Alex Seifert. Out in right field and batting second will be Brian Room. Batting third and catching, Mark Sanchez. The 1-0 down low, 0-1's down low for a ball and a fastball from James Harrington. The count now 1-1. He's a quick mover as Harrington, so he's ready for the 1-1 pitch. This one's chopped foul down that third baseline by Alex Seifert. Right to the third base coach of the Oilers. And the count now 1-2. Batting cleanup and DHing tonight will be Brent Diaz. Batting fifth and playing third base, Ted Bokey. Batting sixth and out in center field, James Folks. Curveball swung on and missed. He got him to chase, did James Harrington. And he quickly logs his first strikeout of this game. Miners get off to a good start defensively in the pitching side of things. And one gone here in this bottom of the first inning. That will bring up Brian Room. The first pitch to him is a fastball low for a ball. Count 1-0. Batting seventh for the Oilers and playing first base will be J.D. Arrowwood. Batting eighth and playing out in left will be Hector Rivera. And batting ninth and playing shortstop will be Jimmy Galuski. Here comes the 2-0, and that one misses low for a ball. Count now 2-0. And now Brian Room will swing and miss at that offering from James Harrington on a fastball, and the count now 2-1. Here comes the 2-1, and that one misses high and away for a ball. The count now 3-1 on Brian Room. Been a hitter around the middle of this lineup all season long, a .240 average hitter. As they'll pop this one up just into the outfield grass behind the second base bag. Caleb Wood, or Jake Schleppenbach, is going to call off everyone and make the catch at his center fielder, Chris Hall, backing him up just in case. Quickly, two gone here in the bottom of the first. And that will bring up the catcher in Mark Sanchez. First pitch is swinging is Mark Sanchez, and he fouls that one straight back. Count now 0-1. Mark Sanchez gained some increased playing time as the season's gone on. He pops this one foul down that left field line, and he's quickly behind in the count. Now 0-2. Sanchez, a .355 hitter, but playing just in his 11th game for the Oilers, has 11 hits and 31 at-bats, 1 homer and 3 RBIs. Here comes that pitch, and it misses high and away for a ball, so the count now 1-2 on Hector Sanchez. James Harrington taking a long look in, and now he's ready with that 1-2. Popped up in the air towards left field, right near that foul line, coming over and into foul ground to make the catch is Connor Wanhanen to retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Kenai Peninsula Oilers in the bottom of the first inning. We head to the second. Miners and Oilers still scoreless. You are listening to Miners Baseball on the Miners Radio Network. On to the second inning here at Coral Seymour Memorial Park. No score between the Miners and the Oilers. So glad you could join us. I'm Kevin Peel alongside my partner Kyle Howard. Joe Mata back to the hill facing Niles Nygaard. And the first pitch is swung on and popped up in the air into very short left field over towards that third base bag. Ranging over to his right to make the catch is the shortstop Jimmy Galuski. And quickly, one gone on one pitch for Joe Mata. He's got to feel really good about that out to start the top of the second inning. That'll bring up Jack Zellner, the first baseman. A late add to the lineup tonight is Jack Zellner. Curveball taken for a strike at the knees. And on the inside corner, 0-1. Jack Zellner out of the University of New Mexico. 0-1 is hit towards right field, and it will land in front of the right fielder, Brian Room, for a base hit. It's a bit of a high line drive, but it sunk quickly on Brian Room right in front of him. So another hit for the Miners. That's their second hit of this game, and we're playing here in the top of the second inning. 1 on, 1 out, no score. The Miners trying to start a rally here. And I'll bring up J.J. Hancock. Number 8 hitter in the lineup tonight. Comes up swinging and missing at that changeup on the inside corner at the knees from Mata for a strike. Count now 0-1. J.J. Hancock out of Washington State comes in with a 185 average, no homers and 5 RBIs. This one's grounded towards second. Slow chopper. Going to be no play to second base, as Alex Seifert just had to go to the first base bag. A good jump from Jack Zellner. He's able to reach second base. Second runner in scoring position now of this game for the Miners. And with 2 outs, no score, Connor Wanhanen will try and drive in Jack Zellner from second. So Mata is ready, and here comes that first pitch. It's a curveball that misses just a little bit low for a ball. And the count now 1-0. Connor Wanhanen with a 178 average coming in, no homers and 4 RBIs. Here comes that 1-0 pitch. And it's a curveball, this time at the knees for a strike. And the count now 1-1 to Connor Wanhanen.
Mata at this point has allowed a couple of base runners, but have been able to really calm down after he's allowed those base runners. Wanhanen try to change that here with a double or a single, though.
Here comes that 1-1 pitch. And misses just low for a ball. Count now 2-1. Connor Wanhanen had a 3-game hitting streak recently. We snapped. Had a couple multi-hit games. Is really starting to get the bat going after a slow start. And 2-1 is over for a strike at the knees on a nice curveball from Joe Mata. Count now 2-2. Outfield and infield playing straight away on Connor Wanhanen with the sun shining down brightly here in Kenai on this Saturday evening. 2-2. Curveball just missed low and away for a ball to Connor Wanhanen. And the count now full, 3-2. Jack Zellner will have the green light to go with 2 outs. Trying to score the first run of this game for the Miners. And that one goes way up and in for a ball. Might have nicked the arm of Connor Wanhanen, but in any case, he will take his base. So now 2 on with 2 out. And the top of the order coming back up, that'll be Chris Hall. Chris Hall today, 1-for-1 with a bunt single. Now he's going to try and drive at least 1 run home here with Zellner in scoring position. And decent speed over there at first and Connor Wanhanen. Here's that first pitch from Mata. It's a fastball for a called strike on the outside corner to Chris Hall. Count 0-1. Chris Hall out of Lebanon, Tennessee, a University of Tennessee product. Studying for his master's at Tennessee. This one hit pretty well towards right field, coming towards the line to make the catch is Brian Room right near the foul line to retire the side. Miners get runners on first and second for the second straight inning, but they strand them both. We head to the bottom of the second. No score between the Miners and the Oilers. You're listening to Miners Baseball on the Miners Radio Network. We are ready for the bottom of the second inning here in Kenai, Alaska, with the Miners and Oilers still scoreless. Been a good couple innings for Joe Mata, and the fact that he's been able to work himself out of some jams here so far, Kyle.
He has been able to do that so far. It's now faced the entire order already through the second inning, and really has buckled down when he's got base runners on tonight. He's been pretty good.
Fastball misses just outside for a ball from James Harrington to the number 7 hitter on this Oilers team. It's Brent Diaz, a DH. Will hit this one towards third on the ground. Scooping and making the throw over is Niles Nygaard in time by a couple steps for the out. And 2-pitch out for James Harrington to start off this bottom of the second. A scoreless game. I'll bring up Ted Boeke. Ted Boeke right now still the home run leader in this Alaska Baseball League with 3. He's held that on for quite a while in a season in which the home run numbers have been way down. He'll bunt this one on the first pitch right in front of the mound. Harrington will make the throw over to his New Mexico teammate, Jack Zellner, who scoops it in time. Ted Boeke tried to get sneaky there and get on base via the bunt single, but instead Harrington throws him out. So 3 pitches for Harrington in this inning. Now 2 outs. And now bring up the number 6 hitter, James Folks. Here comes the first pitch. That one lined up the middle, and it will get down in front of the center fielder, Chris Hall, for a base hit. Oilers wasting no time tonight, coming up and swinging at those first pitches from Harrington. And this time it ends up well. Another hit. First one of this game, actually, for the Peninsula Oilers. And that will bring up J.D. Arrowwood. Any reason for the aggressiveness, you think? Just trying to get this offense going in the right direction, Kyle?
Oh, it's a deceptive changeup, I think, from Harrington. It looks like it's a beauty over the plate, and Harrington able to get over for it so slowly. He's able to get the guys to chase a pitch and not the pitch that they want to get an out.
That plus changeup is at the knees and right over the heart of the plate for a called strike to J.D. Arrowwood. Count now 0-1. Missing outside with a fastball that time on the 0-1 pitch is Harrington. Count now 1-1. J.D. Arrowwood, 111 average, playing in his 12th game of the season tonight. No homers, 1 RBI. Throw over to check the runner. And base umpire Rob Mays, although it was a close play, said he was safe. Count will remain 1-1 on J.D. Arrowwood. This is his 37th at bat of the season. He swings and fouls that one straight back to the screen. Count now 1-2. James Harrington, first 3 batters he faced in this inning. 2 outs, 1 hit, and 4 pitches in that span. A little bigger of a battle against J.D. Arrowwood. Throw to check the runner. And once again, Folks is back in safe. Now Harrington will turn his focus back to J.D. Arrowwood. Takes a long look in from the stretch. And 1-2 instead. Late time called by the home plate umpire, Tim Davis. James Harrington taking a little bit too long. So now he'll reset himself. And get ready for the 1-2. Here it comes. It's grounded right back up the middle, past the glove of Harrington and into center field for a base hit. Reflex is just a fraction of a second off for James Harrington, as that one was rolled up the middle and just past the glove of Harrington into center field. Second hit of the game and second hit in a row for the Oilers. They now have runners on first and second here in this bottom of the second inning, looking to break a scoreless tie between the Miners and the Oilers. That time, Kyle, just a span of just inches and a fraction of a second, and James Harrington would have had that one.
It was very close there, and a tough play for him to make, though. Just bounced right past his glove. And in the center field, that's how they got their base hit there. Now back-to-back base hits up the middle for the Oilers.
Fastball for a called strike on the outside corner. So the number 8 hitter, Hector Rivera. Count now 0-1. Takes a long look towards second. And he's quickly ready with that 0-1. And he just misses with a slider low. And the count now 1-1 on Rivera. Takes a look towards second, does Harrington. And now he'll step off as James Folks was dancing around a bit over there at second base. He's on second. He reached on a single with 2 outs. And also J.D. Arrowwood, the batter after him, reaching on a single with 2 outs. Swung on and missed. Got him to chase a curveball in the dirt away from Rivera. And the count now 1-2. Connor Wanhanen playing slightly up in left field. The rest of the outfielders straight away and a couple steps back. Tyler Wolf covering that second base bag. Long look towards Folks from Harrington. And he's going to step and throw over. And just back in the nick of time is James Folks. Tyler Wolf was covering. Count still 1-2 to Hector Rivera. Looks to drive in a run. No RBIs on the season for him yet. Swung on and missed. That RBI number will stay that way as he got him to swing and miss at that changeup below the knees. Another strikeout for James Harrington, and that gets him out of the first and second runners on base jam to end the inning. We head to the third here in Kenai. No score between the Oilers and the Miners. You're listening to Miners Baseball on the Miners Radio Network. It's almost time for the Top of the World Series beginning in 2 days from now on Monday, August 3rd. Join Kyle Howard and myself, Kevin Peel, for some play-by-play action as the Miners look to take home their first ABL championship since 2010, taking on the Anchorage Bucks at 6 p.m. Napa Auto Parts pregame show will be on that evening at 5:45. On to the top of the third inning. It will be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the order for the Miners. No score in this game. And the changeup from Joe Mata, the left-handed pitcher, is low and away to Tyler Wolf. And the count now 1-0. He's quickly ready with that 1-0. And it's another changeup, low and away again. And the count now 2-0. Joe Mata likes to work at the pace of James Harrington very quickly. The 2-0 is popped up into foul territory, and it will get out of play down that first base line into the grandstands. Count now 2-1 on Tyler Wolf. really unique setting down that third base line here in Kenai, as curveball is low and bounces in to Tyler Wolf. Counting off 3-1. A beer stand that is unlike any other in the Alaska Baseball League, featuring picnic tables, a really nice area to go talk to the fans. 3-1 is chopped to short. Jimmy Galuski will backhand it and throw on to first in time to Tyler Wolf, who is now 0 for 2 with a pop out and a ground out. One gone here in the top of the third, no score, and that will bring up Jake Schleppenbach, who was also 0 for 1 himself. He struck out swinging back in the first inning. Lefty Schleppenbach facing the southpaw Mata. And that changeup is low and in for a ball to Schleppenbach. Count now 1-0. Said Joe Mata's out of Cal State Bakersfield. In 2015, he pitched in 3 games, just 3 1/3 innings for Bakersfield. That curveball misses low and away for a ball to Schleppenbach. Now the count now 2-0. He struck out 2 and did not record a decision in his outings. A redshirt freshman there, so already spent 2 years at Bakersfield. That curveball misses again, outside and low for a ball. And Joe Mata way behind in the count 3-0. Already has walked 1 minor in this outing so far through 2 1/3 innings. But hasn't given up a run, and neither is James Harrington. No scorer here in Kenai. Changeup is at the knees for a called strike to Schleppenbach. And the count now 3-1. He once again playing up, trying to guard against the bunt. And that one misses just a little bit low, that 3-1 pitch. It was below the knees. And ball 4, second issued walk of the game for Joe Mata. And now bring up Matt Diorio, the cleanup hitter for the Miners. No score, 1 out here in the top of the 3rd inning.
Keeps us straying out of every inning so far. The Miners have had a base runner now. So far, no runs to show for it, though.
Comes that first pitch, and it is hit into right field just over the glove of Alex Seifert, who was in position in the right spot, but just over his head on a line. Matt Diorio gets a single, and the Miners now all of a sudden quickly with 2 base runners on first and second for the 3rd straight inning to start this ball game. And I'll bring up Tanner Nishioka with just 1 out. Jake Schleppenbach on second, Matt Diorio on first. Tanner Nishioka today, 0 for 1. He popped out to second back in the 1st inning. First pitch is a changeup, low and in to Tanner Nishioka. And the count now 1-0. Nishioka out of Palna-Pitzer College has played other sports in his days as an athlete. Big swing at the curveball. It was up and away, and he missed it. Count now 1-1. Also was a punter on his high school football team was Tanner Nishioka. A very talented one. Very gifted athlete. 1-0 is lined up the middle. That will be caught by Alex Seifert, who was quickly moving over. Looked like it was going to drop for a second, but Seifert got there in the nick of time. He was playing up the middle as it was against the double play, and in that aspect that helped him in that situation. And Kyle, right place, right time, able to get an out. Now 2 outs here in this top of the 3rd inning. No score.
It was as if he was racing to the back for second base and maybe turn 2 and a slowly hit ball up the middle. But as you said, that really paid off for him to get the out there for Seifert heading right up the middle to catch the ball.
First pitch is a curveball from Mata, low and below the knees to Niles Nygaard. Count now 1-0. Nygaard popped out to short back in the 2nd inning. He's 0 for 1. Mata takes a long look towards second. Now he's ready with the 1-0. And the changeup just hits the outside corner to Niles Nygaard. The count now 1-1. Sun continues to shine. Glorious day for baseball here in Kenai, Alaska. Fans having a great time on family night at the ballpark. 1-1 is popped up in the air to left field, moving towards the gap. And just a couple steps back is Hector Rivera, the left fielder, to make the catch to retire the side. Miners for the third straight inning get runners on first and second, but strand them right there. We head to the bottom of the third. No score between the Miners and the Oilers here at Coral Seymour Memorial Park. You're listening to Miners Baseball on the Miners Radio Network. Looking for ways to get closer to the Valley's team? Now you can. Like the Matsu Miners page on Facebook. You can also follow them on Twitter at ABL Miners. Get more connected with your Miners today. No score here between the Miners and the Oilers as we enter the bottom of the third inning. James Harrington back to the hill with 25 pitches so far. And that first pitch is a curveball that's low for a ball to Jimmy Galuski, and the count now 1-0. Jimmy Galuski, the shortstop for this Peninsula Oilers team, takes a fastball for a called strike at the knees. The count now 1-1. Galuski's logged a lot of games this year. This is his 44th, 223 average coming in. Fastball just misses outside from James Harrington. And the count now 2-1. Galuski, no homers and 15 RBIs this season. Kicks and fires does James Harrington with the 2-1. And he catches the outside corner at the knees for a strike with a curveball. Count now 2-2. Here comes that 2-2 pitch. It's another curveball, and this time it misses low and away for a ball. Count now full on Jimmy Galuski, the number 9 hitter, trying to reach to turn the order back to the top with Alex Seifert. Grounds this one to third. Niles Nygaard bobbles it, and safe is Jimmy Galuski, who is running hard. Most likely going to be an error charged to Niles Nygaard. It will be the first error of the game for the Matsu Miners. And an early base runner in this bottom of the third inning. Nobody out. And that will bring up Alex Seifert, the top of the order. Tough play there for Niles Nygaard with a quick runner moving down the line. And that fastball misses up and in for a ball to Seifert. Count now 1-0. Alex Seifert struck out swinging back in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. Harrington tosses the 1-0. It's popped up into very short left field. Tyler Wolf backing straight up was backpedaling and called off Chris Hall at the last second, who was coming in behind him to make the catch. Now one gone here in this bottom of the third inning. No score. That'll bring up Brian Room. Brian Room, the right fielder for this Oilers team. 1 homer and 11 RBIs logged on the season. Throw to check the runner, Galuski, and he's back in safely. Galuski was 6 for 7 in stolen base attempts this year, so he could be looking to steal a bag here. comes the first pitch. It is grounded to second, could be two. Flips to second for one to Schleppenbach. On to first in time. 4-6-3 double play. Turned by Schleppenbach, Wolf, and Zellner to retire the side. So the Oilers do get one on, but they strand him as we head to the top of the fourth inning here in Kenai. Kyle Howard will take over the play-by-play duties as we head to that top of the fourth inning. Miners and the Oilers are scoreless here at Coral Seymour Memorial Park. You're listening to Miners Baseball, Miners Radio Network.
Seven, 8, 9 in the batting order as we move now to inning number 4 here in Kenai. No score between the Miners and the Peninsula Oilers tonight. Jack Zellner digs in now. Single to right, his first time up. Takes a first pitch curveball outside for a ball. 1-0 the count to him. Sunny night here in Kenai tonight and clear skies. A beautiful night for baseball. Otto Wyington delivers the 1-0. Curveball again, missing outside. 2-0 the count now. Miners in their camouflage uniforms tonight. Seeing Oilers in their home blacks. Here's a 2-0. Swing and a miss. This time another curveball chased outside to Zellner. 2-1 the count now. And starting to bang their thunder sticks here at the park. They gave them out on the way in tonight to the park on family night. Jack Zellner going to dig back in here. 2-1 count on him. Nothing to score. Inning number 4 with the top half of the inning here for the Miners. The pitch in here is a fastball with an East called strike here. 2-2 the count. Even on Miners' first baseman tonight. New Mexico product is Zellner. It's the wine delivery for Mata. Swing and a miss on a slow curveball. I know they say foul tipped it to the home plate umpire Tim Davis, so he'll stay alive. Just by hair did Jack Zellner stay alive on that one. So again, Mata will have a 2-2 count working on Zellner. Here's the lefty-lefty matchup. The 2-2 is fouled away again, back over to the Miners dugout. Another 2-2 count coming. Is the ball boy Zippy coming in the dugout to get the ball. Here's the wine and the 2-2. Curveball stays inside here. It'll be a full count now on Zellner. Started here with the 2-0 count. The count now full. 3 balls and 2 strikes after consecutive fouls, and now a pitch inside. Here's a payoff pitch now for Mata. Line down the right field line. That goes foul here. Rolls over by the Oilers bullpen this time. Zellner now going back to the plate here with a full count on him against the lefty Mata. Lefty from Cal State Bakersfield winds and delivers a payoff pitch. Fastball down low for a ball. That's ball 4. Another walk issued now. Number 3 on the night for the lefty Mata. So now a leadoff base runner for the Miners here, and Jack Zellner, he reaches base for the second time tonight with a base hit his first time up. Now a walk. So now a no-out base runner for the Miners, a 0-0 ball game, and that brings up the catcher J.J. Hancock. Hancock digging in. Here's the first pitch to him. He squares around the bump and pulls back. The ball gets past the catcher, Mark Sanchez, back to the screen onto second base. With a wild pitch goes Jack Zellner. So Hancock will have a 1-0 count on him. JJ today grounded a 4-3 fielder's choice back in the second inning. It's his second time at the plate tonight, officially 0 for 1. But he bats here in inning number 4. No score and a runner on second base with nobody out. Lefty on lefty matchup with Hancock at the plate. Coming set with Desmata. Looks back to runner at second. Here's the delivery. Squaring around a bunt is Hancock. He pulls around for it, but takes a strike. He misses at it. Count even at 1-1 now from the lefty Mata. Joe coming set. Looks back the runner. Here he delivers now. This one bunted to the third base side. Fielding at third base is Bokey on one hop. He fires across the infield to get the out, but on to third base with a successful sacrifice bunt is Jack Zellner. Nice job there by the Miners catcher to move the runner over. Now with one man out, a runner stands at third base. Credit the catcher Hancock with his fourth successful sacrifice bunt this season. And now Connor Wanhanen is the batter with one man out and a runner on third base. The infield will be brought in for the Oilers. Mata delivers. Ground ball to the right side, but it goes fouled on the first base line. Connor trying to deliver here as he was hit by a pitch back in the second inning. Trying to get aboard any way he can here. Obviously trying to drive home the run as well. Jack Zellner standing at third base. Here's the 1-0. 0-1, excuse me. It's slapped down the first base line. 0-2 now. Connor also a football star in high school. Played quarterback in high school there. Now a TCU infielder and outfielder. Miners outfielder this summer. Here's the 0-2. Fastball missing low and away in the dirt. 1-2 the count. Connor taps the plate around with a 1-2 count on him on third base. It's a short lead at third base is Zellner. Here's a 1-2 delivery. Line drive down to right field. That's going to fall in front of the center fielder, James Folks. That's going to score a run as well on the base hit by the Connor Wanhanen. Ball hung up just long enough for Folks to get to it, but it drops right in front of him for a base hit. Give an RBI to the Miners left fielder tonight, Connor Wanhanen. RBI number 5 on the season for him. So 1-0, the Miners lead it here in the fourth inning after a leadoff walk issued by Zellner. A wild pitch would advance on a second. A successful sacrifice bunt by Hancock, and now a base hit by Wanhanen plates the run.
And maybe a good decision by Folks to not try and get too aggressive there.
First pitch swinging and grounding to the second base side. Fielding, barehanding, and still getting they stay safe last second, does the base umpire, Rob Mays. Second baseman Alex Seifert choosing to field his bare hand, tried to fire over there. We'll see if that's a base hit or an error. Officially waiting the scoring here, but it was a ground ball to second base, and Seifert tried to field it with his bare hand as opposed to the glove. Fired over to first base, and aboard safely was Chris Hall.
Very tough play for Seifert. Took a really bad hop on the infield. Still no official score, though, as to what that play was.
Squaring around a bunt and bunting it foul is the Miners shortstop, Tyler Wolf. Wolf today popped up in the first. That was over to second base and also grounded out the short his last time up. Officially 0 for 2 on the day. Looking for his first base hit of the night for the Miners. 1-0 Miners lead it here in the top of the fourth inning. One man out. Runners on first and second. Curveball delivered high. Tried to backdoor him, but couldn't get it low enough. Count now 1-1 on the Miners shortstop. Mata comes set. He looks back the runners and second and first. Here, the runner at second goes. The pitch up in there for a strike on the outside edge. The ball is thrown into left field. That's going to bring Wanhanen around from third base to score. Charge an error to the catcher, Mark Sanchez. It was a fastball that got the outer edge to the right-handed hitting Wolf. Sanchez fired down to third base over the third baseman Bokey's head into left field. Another run scored for the Miners here, 2-0 the lead. So a big break for the Miners here. Still only one man out. A 1-2 count coming to the Miners shortstop. He has a runner on second base now. Credit a stolen base as well to Connor Weinhanen. Also, the throw into left field in the air by the catcher also scores a run. Here's a pitch. Fly ball hit to deep center field. Folks giving chase toward the left center field gap. Reaching up, making the catch, tagging at second base, and coming around to third base is Chris Hall. He advances to third base now. Runner on third base, 2 men out, 2-0 Miners lead it. They got 2 runs here in the inning, but the official scoring just now coming in on Chris Hall reaching base. That was an error on the second baseman, Alex Seifert. So if he would come around to score, that would be an unearned run charge to the Oilers pitcher and Mata. Now 2 men out, runner on third base. Here's Jake Schleppenbach. The lefty Schleppenbach facing Mata takes a first pitch fastball away, 1-0. Jake tonight struck out and swinging in the first, also walked in the third. Here's the 1-0. Slap out on the first base line. It rolls down the line and out of play here. 1-1 the count. Mata looking in for the sign. He's got what he wants. Comes set and delivers home. Curveball, ground to the third base side. Bokey dives and can't get to it. It's down the line. Around to score at home is Chris Hall. Rounding first and putting on the brakes there is Jake Schleppenbach. It's a base hit off the end of the bat. The ball just rolled off the bat at the end of the bat and down the third base line. Bokey really had no chance at it. But that scores another run, an RBI for the Miners' second baseman, Jake Schleppenbach. It's 3-0 Miners. Give him his 13th run batted into the year with a single. Now the Miners have a 3-0 lead here in the fourth.
That's the worst break for Ted Bokey that you can get right there. A ball that was just barely off the end of the bat. Bokey playing a little bit up, and that put him at a disadvantage for trying to get to that ball. Rolled slowly past him and down that left field line. First pitch fouled on the first base line. 0-1 the count now on the Miners' designated hitter, Matt DiOrio. He walked in the first and also singled to right in the third. He's officially 1 for 1. He bats with a runner on first base and Schleppenbach here in a 3-0 lead. Fastball missing away for a ball. 1-0 the count, or 1-1 the count for Mata to make that. Mata coming back to the hill now. After taking a breather, he comes set, looks back to Schleppenbach at first. Here's the delivery. Curveball missing low and away for a ball. 2-1 the count now for Mata. Here's the pitch. Fastball gets off the glove of the catcher, Sanchez, going back to the screen. On to second base on the pass ball goes Schleppenbach. Now another pass ball here. Advances the runner on to second base. 3-1 count coming on DiOrio. To get aboard for the third time tonight. Mata delivers. Fastball missing way outside for a ball. On to first base with the second walk issued to DiOrio tonight. Third time he's reached tonight. He's singled also. So now 2 men on, 2 men out for the Miners. That's Tanner Nishioka to the plate. Tanner tonight has popped up to second. Also lined out to second when Seifert came behind the bag to make a run-scoring save back there. Tanner now the right-hander facing Mata with 2 men out. Takes a curveball inside for a ball. 1-0 the count for Mata. Tanner getting the start and a little bit different for him. Traditionally an infielder for the Miners. Here's the 1-0. Ground to the third. Bokey fields it on right at him on the infield grass. Fires in time for the out at first base. That gets the out there. Miners here, but the Miners do cross for 3 runs here in the inning. They take a 3-0 lead as we move now to the bottom half of the fourth inning here in Kenai. 3-0 Miners right here in your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Mark Sanchez, the catcher, leads things off. Takes the first pitch fastball down low for a ball. 1-0 the count to the catcher. Tonight has flown out to left field in the first inning. His first at bat, he takes the fastball down the right field line and just foul. Jack Zellner dove forward toward the first base side of things. Couldn't get to it, but it rolled just foul last second. So a big break for the Miners there. A bad break on the side of the Oilers here. Could have been a double down the line, but it'll just be a strike here on the catcher. 1-1 the count on the left-handed hitter against the righty James Harrington. Been very pitch effective so far. 35 pitches for him so far. 25 of them for strikes. Here's the 1-1. Line drive back up the middle. A dive for Slovenbach, but he can't get to it. It rolls into right center field for a base hit. So now hitting another hit for the Oilers now. A leadoff base hit for them now. They get a runner on first base. Make that hit number 3 on the night for the Oilers here. Brent Diaz will dig back in. Officially on the night. Grounded to third base his first time up. Here's a pitch. It's a fastball that runs inside. Nearly hits Brent Diaz. Taking it inside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Diaz taking time for a second. Talking with home plate umpire Tim Davis. I'm not exactly sure what's going on if he didn't. I believe now he says the pitch grazed him. A very delayed call by home plate umpire Tim Davis, and the Miners bench asking for an explanation because a very delayed call by Tim Davis and the fact that he was back in the batter's box explaining that I got hit, but it was the batter and Ted Boki, make that Brent Diaz, but it was a very late call, and giving that to him, the Miners not going to come out of the dugout to ask for an explanation, though. It'll be first and second, nobody out here, and the first pitch going to be bunted down the third base line, foul by Boki. Very, very interesting call there to allow the hit batsman. Nonetheless, first and second, nobody out for James Harrington. 3-0 ball game here in the fourth. The righty Harrington coming set. Boki going to square around a bunt again, trying to bring the runners over to second and third and have 2 runners in as Jack Zellner going to charge at first base. Now time going to be called by Boki. Sunny night here in Kenai as the Miners have a 3-0 lead in the bottom half of the fourth inning between the Peninsula Oilers and the Matsu Miners here. Here's a pitch. Bunted down the third base line. Harrington going to charge toward the line, fire quickly over to first base and get the out. But a successful sacrifice bunt out the bat of Boki. That moves the runners over to second and third with just 1 out now. Boki gets the job done. Gives him his 10th sacrifice bunt of the season. A 10 sacrifice bunts well above anyone else on the team. Closest player behind him is a tie between Bennett Oliver and Billy Wilson with 3 of them. But now here's Folks to the plate. He grounds to the third base side. Niles Nygaard has him caught between third and home. He's going to run down the runner at third base. Out at third base goes Seifert. So now on second base stands Brent Diaz. Over at first base safely goes Boki. That'll bring up now bring up Arrowwood now. Throw over to second base. Back safely goes the runner. Diaz dives back safely here. Two men out here in the inning. 3-0 Miners lead it here in the fourth. Arrowwood taking back in. Single to center his first time up. Back in the second inning. J.D. Arrowwood awaits the pitch. Line drive hit to deep right center field. That's going to fall. Caruso going to cut it off in the gap. Going to fire home and cut off, but off the glove now as the ball gets to J.J. Hancock. It skips off his glove, gets backed up by the pitcher Harrington. For a second, Zellner would try to cut that one off. It skipped off his glove, then off the glove of Hancock. around the third. Scoring now is Diaz. So now 2 men out in the inning. Oilers get their first run here. 3-1 the score now as the pitching coach Matt Greeley going to come out to talk with James Harrington. Certainly not what he was expecting out of this inning, as a couple bad breaks have gone against him here with a couple base hits just falling in, and certainly the error didn't help him as well.
No, for sure. And a tough break there that you also had the hit batsman call, which could have gone either way, or really late call by the home plate umpire, Tim Davis. But unfortunately that time, something that James Harrington not quite able to shake off, but he's a tough guy, and there is a runner over there, tying run over there at second as well. So right now, James has got to try and buckle down after his team gave him a 3-0 lead and try and get out of this inning still with the lead for the Miners.
Now at the plate is Hector Rivera. Struck out swinging in the second. He grounds one to first. Moving more toward the second base side of things and fielding it is the first baseman Zellner. He flips underhand to get the out of first base to end the inning. The 1 run does come across the score for the Oilers here in the inning. They cut the deficit down 3-1 now. We move to the top of the 5th inning here in Kenai. Listen to Match 2 Miners Baseball on the Match 2 Miners Radio Network. Nels Nygaard set to lead things off for the Miners as we enter now the top half of the 5th inning. A 3-1 ball game. The Miners lead it. First pitch from Mata. Fastball that runs inside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Nygaard today popped up to second. His first time up. Also flew out to left. So he pops this one up back behind the plate over to us. Nearly took us out over here. 0-2 the count now to Nygaard. Trying to get aboard for the first time tonight is Niles. Here's the line in the 0-2 from Mata. Popped up to the right side. That gets out of play as well. The foul ball or home run does damage to your car. Visit the folks at the Valley's locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts. They're in Big Lake, Palmer, and Wasilla. Visit www.napaalaska.com. Nygaard digs back in and awaits the 0-2 count. Here it is. Fly ball hit the shallow center field, giving chase and shallow center field and calling off. The second baseman is James Folks. Alex Seifert went out to get it towards center field and slid underneath the catch of James Folks. Last second call off by Folks to get the out. 1 man gone here in the inning. I bring up the Miners' first baseman, Jack Zellner. Zellner, of course, singled back in the second inning, his first at bat, and walked in the 4th. Mata winds and delivers. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Curveball down low. 0-1 the count on the Miners' first baseman. 3-1 the score here in the top of the 5th inning in Kenai. Miners are on top. Here's the pitch. Curveball. It's down low and in the dirt, but swung on and missed again by the Miners' first baseman. A time going to be called here by the catcher, and Mark Sanchez. Jack Zellner going to go down to third base to talk with the skipper, Ben Taylor, making sure everyone's on the same page. The meeting breaks up now as Jack Zellner going to head back to the box. Infield and outfield will play him straight away here in the inning. Sunny skies here in Kenai. Nice crowd on hand for this one. Last homestand of the year for the Oilers. Here's the pitch. Slapped down the first base line, and that rolls foul. 0-2 count again coming on Zellner. One man gone in the inning. 3-1. The Miners have the lead. Each team plating their runs in the fourth inning. Mata delivers the 0-2. Fastball nips him on the elbow. Zellner going to reach forward on a hit by pitch. Third time he's reached tonight. A walk and a single to go with that as well. So now a runner on first base, one man out. The Oilers infield will move to double play depth now. The outfield will stay straight away. That'll bring up J.J. Hancock, the catcher.
Second time that Mata has hit a base runner today. Having a little trouble with his command here now. Pitching into the fifth inning and trying to get himself a longer outing. Try and keep the score at 3-1 after the Miners put three runs up on him in that top of the fourth inning.
So now Hancock going to dig in, facing Mata, runner on first base, one man out. Here's the pitch. Ground ball up the middle. It's going to be a tough play for the second baseman, Seifert. It skips off his glove and into center field. It rolls. We'll have to wait on the official scoring on that one. I assume it'll be a base hit. It was a tough play for the second baseman, Seifert, to make. It did skip off his glove, though, so we'll see how they score that one. But regardless, the board safely at first base goes J.J. Hancock. Runners on first and second for the Miners, one man out. The infield will stay at double play depth. As Connor Wanhanen steps to the plate. They score that a base hit for J.J. Hancock now. First base hit of the night for him. Fastball in there for a called strike at the knees. That last hit by Hancock, the sixth hit of the night for the Miners here. They have 3 runs to go with that. We're at the top of the fifth inning here in Kenai. Mata comes set now, ready with the 0-1 to Wanhanen. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Curveball got him out way out in front. 0-2 the count now on Connor. Connor was hit by a pitch in the second, had an RBI single in the fourth, and also came around to score on an error by the catcher and Sanchez. The ball was thrown into left field when he came around to score after stealing third base. Here's a pitch. Chop foul back to the screen. Again, we'll go 0-2 now on the Miners left fielder. Wanhanen taps the plate. Awaiting the 0-2 from the lefty Mata. Look at the runner back at second. Now the delivery. Curveball down low, misses. 1-2 the count. One man out. Infield double play. Depth here. Outfield straight away in the inning. Mata comes set. Here's a pitch. Fastball down low in the dirt. Gets past the catcher Sanchez here. Back to the screen it goes. On to second and third go the runners. Score at the second wild pitch of the night for the lefty Mata. So now runners on second and third for the Miners, and Connor Wanhanen at the plate again. Infield now will be brought in after the double play possibility has been erased. 2-2 the count on Wanhanen. Here's a pitch. Ground to the right side. That's going foul. Be another 2-2 count on the Miners left fielder. Miners have 3 runs in this ball game. They lead at 3-1 here at the top of the fifth inning. They're trying to play add-on here. All 4 runs make that. 3 for the Miners, 1 for the Oilers, all scoring in the fourth inning. Here's a pitch. Fly ball hit to shallow center field. Now the ball going to push toward left field, and calling for it out there is Hector Rivera, tagging as he falls down and throwing in the infield. The ball's cut off by the pitcher in Mata, but regardless, staying at third base on the throw was Jack Zellner. He tried to tag the run. The ball was too shallow out in left field. It was a nice throw from the left fielder and Hector Rivera. That keeps the runners at second and third, so the Miners will have to put the ball in the hands of Chris Hall now to try to play a couple runs. 2 men out for Chris Hall now. He's officially 1 for 3 in the night. He singled back his first time up in the first. Also flew out to right field and also reached on an error in the 4th inning. Takes a first pitch fastball inside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Third baseman Bokey creeping in toward the infield grass. Outfield straight away and deep here. Here's a pitch. Curveball up just too high, a little bit too high here for on Chris Hall. 2-0 the count on Chris. Trying to deliver his first RBI base hit of the night.
Now 92 pitches for Motto with 54 strikes. This could be his last batter, Kyle.
This one lined into right field. Will it fall? It will be caught on a dive by the right fielder, Brian Room. The ball nearly sunk in and got in for a base hit, but Room robs a base hit and robs at least 1 run. So now we move on to the bottom half of the 5th inning here in Kenai. The score 3-1 Miners. Listen to Matsu Miners Baseball on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. The Miners spend their mornings lifting, running, and staying in shape by visiting the Alaska Club. Visit them in Anchorage, Eagle River, Fairbanks, Juneau, and the Matsu Valley. Visit www.thealaskaclub.com. We move to the bottom of the 5th inning here in Kenai. The Miners lead at 3-1 as James Harrington back to the hill in the 5th. First pitch, a curveball in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count. It's a Jimmy Galuski, the shortstop, who reached an error back in the 3rd innings. He grounds this one back to the mound. It falls off the glove of Harrington, but he's able to rebound and make the throw in time for the out there. Over to first base goes the ball. Quickly 1 man out on 2 pitches from Harrington. The inning starting off well for him as now he'll face the top of the order in Alex Seifert. Seifert struck out swinging back in the 1st, flew out to center in the 3rd, looking for his first base hit of the night for the Oilers, trailing at 3-1 here in the 5th inning. First pitch, change up in there at the knees for a called strike. 0-1 to Seifert. Alex, the utility man for the team, can play a little bit of outfield and infield for the team. He slapped this one fouled on the 3rd base line. 0-2 the count to him. Alex from Jacksonville, Florida, attending Jacksonville. He's a sophomore there. Here's a pitch. Fastball up and away, misses. 1-2 the count on Seifert. A series against Northern Kentucky this past season recorded 3 straight 2-hit games for him. So line the 1-2. Fastball just misses outside. Tried to clip the outside corner but couldn't get it. 2-2 the count now on the second baseman for the Oilers tonight. 1 man out in the inning. 3-1 ball game. The Miners lead. Here's a 2-2. Fastball in the dirt, blocked by the catcher Hancock. 3-2 the count coming. Here's a wind the pitch. Top back to the mound. Nice scoop on the hill by Harrington. He fires in time for the out. Back-to-back ground balls back to the mound. That gets another out here. 2 men out here in the inning. That'll bring up the right fielder, Brian Room. Room trying to keep the inning alive here. Consecutive outs. recorded by the pitcher Harrington on ground balls right back at him. So now here's the first pitch to the room. Fastball taken inside for a ball, 1-0 to him. Brian tonight popped up to second his first time up and ground into a 4-6-3 double play in the third. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss on the changeup. Evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Center fielder Hall moving slightly toward the right center field gap, as the right fielder Nishioka also moving toward the right field line. 1-1 pitch is a fastball missing upstairs, 2-1 the count. The lefty room facing the righty Harrington. Harrington looking for the sign. He gets it, and he delivers the 2-1 pitch. It's a curved ball that catches the inside edge for a called strike. It evens the count 2-2 now. Harrington trying to make 1-2-3 inning of the Oilers hitters here in the inning. Harrington finds what he wants. He delivers a 2-2. Fastball missing up and away for a ball. 3-2 the count now with 2 men out in the inning. Here's the wind and the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball down the dirt. Room slams his bat into the dirt, frustrated. Another strikeout on the night for Harrington. Make that 3 of them on the night for him. And that'll be the inning for the Oilers. Over to the top of the 6th inning here in Kenai. The Miners have a 3-1 lead. They look to add on to it. We'll be back in a moment with more Matsu Miners baseball on your Matsu Miners Radio Network. Welcome back to Matsu Miners Baseball as we enter the 6th inning here in a 3-1 Miners lead. New pitcher on the hill for the Oilers is Brandon Van Stone, a 6'1", 180-pound junior from Hawaii Pacific University. He's ready with the first pitch here of the inning to Tyler Wolf. Deliver the curveball on the outside edge for a called strike. 0-1 on the year. Brandon Van Stone 0-1 with a 4.11 earned run average in 11 games. Has thrown 19 2/3 innings with 14 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 25 base hits. He delivers a fastball to Neese for a called strike, or for a ball, make it 1-1. Now the 1-1 pitch is a curveball that's popped up behind the screen. 1-2 the count now. Wolf on the night popped up to second, grounded to shortstop, and also flew out to center field. He's officially 0 for 3 in the night, looking for his first base of the night. Here's the line, the 1-2. Fastball down low and away, misses. 2-2 the count. Final line on Joe Mata tonight. Works 5 full innings, allowing 3 runs, all of them earned, while hitting 2 batters. As this one chopped up the middle, fielded by the shortstop. It's going to be off the glove of Galuski into right field. He tried to move behind the second base bag to get to it. The ball batted into right field. That'll be an error, we'll assume. Waiting officially on the scoring, but aboard safely is Wolf nonetheless here. But continuing, they scored a hit, do they now? So officially a base hit, the first base of the night for the shortstop of the Miners. Leadoff basically Brandon Van Stone, but continuing the line for Joe Mata tonight. 3 runs, allowing 6 base hits, walking 4 batters and striking out 1. He's in line for the loss tonight after throwing 58 strikes and 94 pitches. Fastball low down for a ball here. Actually, they gave it to him over the knees for a called strike here on Schleppenbach, 0-1. Throw over to first base. Back safely goes Wolf. Back to the hill will go Van Stone with the baseball now. As the left-handed batting Schleppenbach will dig back in. Short lead at first base for Wolf as the throw back over again for Wolf. He's safe there. Keeping a very close eye on first base is the pitcher Brandon Van Stone. Van Stone comes set. Looks back, the runner first, and throws a curveball that runs inside off the glove of the catcher Mark Sanchez. On to second base will go the runner and Tyler Wolf. See if they score that. We'll assume that's a pass ball. The ball ran inside but glanced off the glove of the catcher Sanchez, but that's going to bring a mound visit now between Sanchez and the first baseman J.D. Arrowwood. No coaches involved in the meeting, though, but certainly not the way the right-hander Van Stone's wanted to start things. Leadoff base hit. Now with the pass ball there onto second base goes the shortstop Tyler Wolf. So runner in scoring position. Nobody out here in the game. Here in the top half of the 6th inning. Van Stone delivers. It's a fastball that misses inside for a ball this time. Down low in the dirt. It was blocked by Sanchez. Kept the runner from advancing to third base. It'll be a 2-1 count now on Schleppenbach. Jake has struck out swinging in the first. Also walked in the third. An RBI single to left in the 4th inning as well. It's right down the third base line. Here's a 2-1. It's chopped right to the first base side. Having tough play on it is the pitcher Van Stone. He can't get to it. It looked like a routine play, but the ball just died out there. Overran the baseball to Van Stone. It'll be an infield base hit for Jake Schleppenbach. Second base hit of the night for him. Miners have runners on the corners. Nobody out now. A big threat coming for Van Stone out of relief. It brings up the cleanup hitting Matt Diorio as well.
Yeah, 2 well-placed infield singles in this inning for the Miners, getting their offense going. Give credit to Jake Schleppenbach there for just putting in the right spot. All he had to do was put it in play, and that time he did, and very nicely.
So Matt Diorio has reached base 3 times tonight, digs in, taking a fastball low and away for a ball, 1-0. Matt has walked twice tonight and also singled. Throw over to first base and back safely goes the runner at first. And Jake Schleppenbach. Infield will be at double play depth. The outfield straight away. 3-1 ball game here in the top of the 6th inning in Kenai. Here's the pitch. Fastball away missing. Miners trying to tack on some more runs to add to their lead here in a 2-run game here so far. On third base, Tyler Wolf, he singled. On first base, Jake Schleppenbach, he also singled. Swing and a miss on a changeup this time. 2-1 to count on the Miners DH. The bottom half of the inning will have the Palmer Bar scoreboard for you. Here's a pitch. Fly ball hit to deep left field. Should be deep enough to score the run. Moving toward the line and making the catch is Hector Rivera. He fires into the infield, but there will be no throw home as the ball goes over to the second baseman, Alex Seifert. An RBI sacrifice fly off the bat of Matt Diorio. That plates a run, and around the score comes Tyler Wolf. Miners lead at 4-1 here now.
Number 10, Tanner Nishioka.
So Matt Diorio getting the job done with a sacrifice fly here. Miners tacking on another run. There will still be one man out and a runner on first base and Schleppenbach. Give Diorio 18 RBIs now in the year. His 3rd sacrifice fly of the year. First pitch swung on and missed on a fastball, but to Nishioka, 0-1 to him. He popped up to second base and also lined out to second base his first 2 at-bats and then would ground to third. His 3rd time up, officially 0-for-3. Throw over to first base, back safely. Goes Jake Schleppenbach. The infield will remain at double play depth here in the inning. 4-1 the score in the 6th inning. 1 man out for the Miners. 0-1 count for the Miners right fielder. Here's the pitch. Line drive into right field. That falls for a base hit. Coming in to pick it up is Hector Rivera. He fires over to third base. Bokey fielding in on one bounce. Another base hit for the Miners, and the Miners now have 3 hits on the inning, 1 run to show for it so far. Runners on first and second, 1 man out now. That brings up Niles Nygaard, the third baseman. He's looking for his first hit of the night as well. The infield stays double play depth. Certainly not this start. The right-hander Van Stone was wanting, Kevin.
No, not at all. And Tanner Nishioka reaching base for the first time tonight. Miners not doing it with the power. They're using the small ball and just doing a great job.
And on a perfectly executed hit and run, Jake Schleppenbach takes off toward third base, and this one's lined into left field for a base hit that scores another run. Schleppenbach comes around to score. RBI base hit off the bat of Niles Nygaard. Give him 13 runs batted in on the year, his 29th base hit of the season. And the Miners now have a 5-1 lead after scoring all 5 of their runs in the 4th and now the 6th inning. 1 man out still, runners on first and second. 5th base hit of the inning for the Miners here. Here's the pitch. Fastball on the inner edge for a called strike to Jack Zellner. 0-1 the count now. Zellner waving his bat around. Looking to reach base for the 4th time tonight. Here's the pitch. Pop up to the right side. Giving chase is the first baseman in Arrowwood. He calls it off on the infield grass and makes the catch. For the first time tonight, Jack Zellner's retired. Previously, it singled to right, walked, and also was hit by a pitch. But now, for the first time tonight, he's retired. That brings up J.J. Hancock with 2 men out and runners on first and second. So Van Stone trying to keep the game right where it's at. He's allowed 2 runs in the inning already. Trying to keep it where it's at, though. This one popped up on the infield. Now moving shallow into left field and making the catch as the shortstop, Jimmy Galuski. A 1-pitch out of J.J. Hancock will end this inning. But the Miners are able to play 2 more runs thanks to quite a few base hits off the reliever Van Stone. Move to the bottom of the 6th inning here in Kenai. 5-1, the Miners lead it right here in the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Right-hander Brigham Hill will be the new pitcher for the Matsu Miners as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning here in Kenai. 5-1, the Miners lead it here as James Harrington exits the ballgame. Before we give you his final line, we'll go ahead and give you the season statistics for Brigham Hill, the right-hander, the 5'11", 175-pound freshman at Texas A&M. 2-3 on the year is he, 1.89 earned run average, 8 games, 6 of them starts. This will be his 9th game this year. He has pitched in 38 innings so far, striking out 38 and walking just 12 while allowing 21 base hits. That'll also close the book on James Harrington tonight. Throws 57 pitches, 36 of them for strikes tonight. Allows just 1 run in the process while allowing 4 base hits, striking out 3 and walking 2. First pitch now taken outside for a ball. This to Mark Sanchez, the catcher, flew out to left field his first time up. Also singled to center in the 4th. Fastball taken up and away for a ball. 1-1 the count. Sanchez, the left-handed batter, facing Brigham Hill here. Hill comes set. He's ready with the 1-1. It's fouled down the left field line, out of play. This inning, we'll also have the Palmer Bar scoreboard for you. Scores around the ABL and Major League Baseball as well. Sanchez will wave his bat around. Here's the 1-2 from Brigham Hill. Swing and a miss on a curveball down low in the dirt. Down swinging goes Sanchez, the first strikeout of the night for Brigham Hill. Now 1 man out here in the 6th inning and a 5-1 ball game. Around the ABL tonight. Of course, in this one, 5-1, the Miners lead it here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Earlier today, the Anchorage Bucks winning 4-3 over the Gold Panthers at Mulcahy Stadium. At the top of the 5th, no score between the Anchorage Glacier Pilots and the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks. This one flared off the end of the bat. It's going to be bounced to the pitcher now, fielding high and throwing on to first base as Brigham Hill to get the out. 2 men out for Brigham Hill here. 5-1 the score. And continuing your Palmer Bar scoreboard, San Francisco 9-7 lead over the Texas Rangers on the road in the top of the 11th inning. As the only game still in action tonight. Kansas City 7, Toronto 6 on the road. The Boston Red Sox beat the Tampa Bay Rays at home 11-7 tonight. Brigham Hill coming set now. Facing Ted Boki. First pitch, a curveball, and missed inside 1-0. Ted tonight has grounded back to the mound and also had a sacrifice bunt back in the 4th inning. Angels fall tonight 3-1 to the Dodgers out in LA. Some ground on the third base side, out and foul as well. 1-1 to count. Dodgers were the host team tonight. They get a home win. Baltimore 6, Detroit 2 at home tonight. Philadelphia wins at 12-2 over the Atlanta Braves at home. The Reds get a 4-3 victory over the Pittsburgh Pirates despite a bases loaded jam in the 9th inning. Aroldis Chapman would get the save in that one. Slap foul back to the screen. 1-2 the count. San Diego wins at 5-3 over the Marlins on the road tonight. White Sox get an 8-2 victory over the New York Yankees. 4-2 the Cubs won it over the Brewers on the road tonight. The Minnesota Twins win at 3-2 over Seattle at home. Here's the line, the 1-2. Fastball missing up and away for a ball, 2-1. Houston 9, Arizona 2. That's a final out in Houston. That's won at 3-2 over the Nationals at home. St. Louis drops a home game tonight over to the Colorado Rockies 6-2. Here's the 2-1. Fastball rings him up, on the 2-2. Down looking goes Ted Boki. So another strikeout for Brigham Hill, 2 in the inning. And a quick 1-2-3 inning. And that's how things shake out for the Oilers as we move now to the top of the 7th inning. Kevin Peel takes over the play-by-play action for you for the remainder of this one. 5-1, the Miners lead it here. Listen to Matsu Miners Baseball on the Matsu Miners Radio Network.
On to the top of the 7th here in Kenai, with the Miners leading the Peninsula Oilers 5-1. Brandon Van Stone going only 1 inning of work and giving up a couple runs against this Miners team, 2 runs to be exact. So they'll bring in a new pitcher. Will be Shane Ennis, the 6'2", 200-pounder out of West Virginia. His first pitch to Connor Wanhanen is a ball low in the dirt. And the count now 1-0. Record for Shane Ennis, 0-2 as a 3.92 ERA, pitching in his 17th game. From the windup, here's the 1-0 pitch. And it is lined foul just past the skipper, Ben Taylor, on the third base line. And the count now 1-1. 18 in the third innings pitched for Ennis. 13 strikeouts to 12 walks, and has surrendered 17 hits this season. The 1-1 is popped up down that third baseline. That'll get out of play as well. And the count now 1-2. If a foul ball or home run does damage to your car, visit the folks of the Valley's locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts. They're in Big Lake, Palmer, and Wasilla. Visit www.napaalaska.com. 1-2 coming from Ennis, and it's low in the dirt and inside to Connor Wanhanen. Count now 2-2. Last time Mata came into a game was July 28th against the Gold Panthers. It was a 6-1 loss for this Oilers team. 2-2 is grounded towards short. Will be an easy play for the second baseman, Seifert. He'll throw on to first in time to retire Connor Wanhanen. And there's now one gone here in this top of the 7th inning, with the Miners leading 5-1. We'll turn over the batting order to the top of the order. And that'll bring up Chris Hall. Chris Hall with a bunt single to lead off the game back in the first. Flew out to right in the second. Reached on air in the fourth. And reached on a fielder's choice in the fifth. The first pitch to him is a changeup on the outside corner and at the knees to Chris Hall for a called strike. Count 1. Here comes that 1-0. Grounded right into the Miners' dugout. Look out. Everyone's okay. As Chris Hall will step back in. Count now on him 0-2. In that outing against the Gold Panthers on Tuesday, he gave up 1 run and 2 hits. Did Shane Ennis. 1-2 is just a little outside for a ball. The 0-2 was just outside for a ball, and the count now 1-2 on Chris Hall. In the starting center field, does not have many starts out in center this year, primarily a right fielder. 1-2 is a changeup that catches the outside corner at the knees for a called strike 3. And Shane Ennis will get his first strikeout. 2 quick outs against the Miners here in the top of the 7th. They lead 5-1. I'll bring up Tyler Wolf. Tyler Wolf was 0 for 3 going into the last inning, but able to register an infield single. Start off that inning and later scored. First pitch, called strike with a changeup on the outside corner. And the count now 0-1. Here comes the 0-1. And it's popped up down that first base line, heading towards the grandstands, but not able to make the catch is the first baseman, J.D. Arrowwood, as it goes out of play. Count now 0-2 on Tyler Wolf. Stop out of Maple Plain, Minnesota, and plays college baseball at Kansas State. Here's the 0-2 pitch to him, swung on and missed. Nice 1-2-3 inning for Shane Ennis. His last outing not so good, giving up 1 run, but he, at least in this outing, through 1 inning, gets a good start. Miners lead 5-1 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's stretch time here at Coral Seymour Memorial Park. You're listening to Miners Baseball on the Miners Radio Network. Seventh inning stretch brought to you as always by the proud ladies at the Cindy Hill Allstate Insurance Agency, located at mile 3 of the Palmer-Wasilla Highway at Midtown Estates, where you are in good hands, ours. Give us a call or stop in anytime. Cindy, Kelsey, Julie, and Sky are ready to be your trusted advisors. Go Miners. Miners lead 5-1 heading to the bottom of the 7th inning here in Kenai over the Peninsula Oilers. And a new pitcher will come on for the Matsu Miners. They're getting their bullpen some work tonight as Brigham Hill came in and threw 11 pitches, 7 of strikes, and recorded 2 strikeouts en route to a 1-2-3 inning in that bottom of the 6th inning. And now Trent Thompson will check in. Pitching his 19th game of the season, comes in with a 1-0 record, 1.56 ERA, has 1 save. He's pitched 23 innings, has 22 strikeouts, 5 walks, and has only surrendered 18 hits. And he will face James Folks to lead off this bottom of the 7th inning. Folks today, 1 for 2, a single to center, and also fielders reaching on a fielder's choice. Here comes the first pitch from Trent Thompson, and it's swung through a curveball from Thompson to Folks, and the count now 0-1. Here's the 0-1. It's hit pretty well towards left. Connor Wanhanen still backing up, looking up, and it is gone over the Alaska Oil Sales sign in left field. James Folks exits stage left, and all of a sudden the Peninsula Oilers trying to crawl themselves back into this game. Now 5-2 on the home run by James Folks. Ball that just kept carrying to left field. A solidly hit ball, but off the bat didn't exactly look like it was going to leave the yard, but it did for James Folks. That is his first home run of the season, and RBI number 16 on a big fly that time, Kyle.
Yeah, again, as you said, the ball did not appear that it was going to get out of here off the bat, but still traveled well enough to just give a look up from Connor Wanhanen. Not much of a chance out there in left field. The ball continued to carry and got out of here quickly.
First pitch to J.D. Arrowwood was fouled off down that third base line. Count now 0-1. Comes the 0-1 from Thompson, and it was low for a ball. To Arrowwood, the count now 1-1. Arrowwood, a couple hits today. The 1-1 is just a little bit low. Another changeup from Thompson that was just below the knees, and the count now 2-1. 2 singles for Arrowwood, one of them an RBI single back in the 4th inning, which scored a run. Comes the 2-1. That's a fastball low for a ball. Now Thompson behind in the count to J.D. Arrowwood. Count now 3-1. Arrowwood came in with the lowest average on this Oilers team, as Trent Thompson will step off for just a second. At 111, now playing in his 12th game, but a couple hits tonight has really got his confidence going. Here comes the 3-1. It's a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike to J.D. Arrowwood. Count now full on him, 3-2. Home run here in this bottom of the 7th inning has closed the gap a little bit, now 5-2. 3-2 is popped up into center field. Coming a couple steps in, and just slightly to his left is Chris Hall to make the catch. And there's now one gone in this bottom of the 7th inning. I'll bring up Hector Rivera. Hector Rivera today 0 for 2 with a strikeout, swinging back in the 2nd, and grounded out to first back in the 4th.
It's a big out there for Trent Thompson to bounce back after hitting the home run and retire a man that hadn't been retired all night in Arrowwood.
First pitch to Rivera is a curveball that hits the inside corner up around the letters for a strike. Count now 0-1. Here comes that 0-1 pitch, and he swung through it. Changeup at the knees for a strike. Count now 0-2. Hector Rivera, a hometown boy out of Kenai, Alaska, attends Central Christian College. One of the local players was brought in by the Oilers organization. Here comes the 0-2. It's a fastball. It's just outside for a ball from Trent Thompson. Count now 1-2. He's come in and hit well. Now in his 11th game, came in with a .333 average. 1-2 pitch. Just misses outside with a curveball from Trent Thompson. Not by much, though. Hancock tried to frame it. Count now 2-2. Take a long look in. He sets. Here's the 2-2. Fastball swung through for strike 3 to Hector Rivera. He strikes out for the 7th time this year. He's now 0 for 3. Now 2 gone here in this bottom of the 7th inning. Now I'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Jimmy Galuski, with the Oilers trailing 5-2 here in the bottom of the 7th. You mentioned Jimmy Galuski, a very versatile player, playing in his 43rd game, which is tops in the organization. First pitch to him is a curveball. It's on the outside corner for a strike with a curveball. On the count now 0-1. Trent Thompson from the windup sets, and he's ready with the 0-1 and misses low for a ball with a fastball. Count now 1-1. Jimmy Galuski, one of the players that has been here this entire year. There's been some turnover as well in this Oilers organization. Here comes the 1-1. That's a fastball low for a ball from Thompson. The count now 2-1. Oilers having some trouble trying to keep players just like the Alaska Gold Panthers, one of their division rivals, even the leader of the AL division, the Anchorage Bucks, having a lot of turnover this year. Bringing in a new shortstop midseason. Here comes the 2-1, and it's tapped very slowly towards short. Tyler Wolf gets to it, quickly throws on to first in time to retire the side. But a home run cuts the lead to 5-2 by James Folks, his first of the year. Miners with a 3-run lead heading to the 8th. You are listening to Miners Baseball on the Miners Radio Network. On to the top of the 8th, the Matsu Miners leading the Kenai Peninsula Oilers by a score of 5-2. New pitcher for the Peninsula Oilers will be Sean Michael out of Yorba Linda, California, and West Texas A&M. He'll come on to face 3, 4, and 5 in the order for the Miners here in this 8th inning. Schleppenbach stepping in first. And he takes a called strike with a fastball on the first pitch. Count 0-1. Schleppenbach struck out, swinging back in the first, took a walk back in the third, RBI single to left back in the fourth, and had an infield single in the sixth. Comes the 0-1. It is fouled out of play by Jake Schleppenbach down that third base line. And the count now 0-2. Been a beautiful night for baseball, and the fans have continued to file in all night. Here comes the 0-2. And it's high and away for a ball to Schleppenbach. Count 1-2. Witnessing family night here at the ballpark. All the host families were recognized for their service to the Oilers this season. 1-2, tapped on the ground short. Should be an easy play. Jimmy Galuski will flip on to first in time for the out. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 8th against Sean Michael, with the Miners leading 5-2, and they'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Matt Diorio. Matt Diorio today walked in the first, singled to right in the third, walked in the fourth, and had a sacrifice fly back in the 6th. Been a good day at the plate for him. Here comes that first pitch from Sean Michael. Fouled out of play on a curveball. Count now 0-1. Sean Michael pitching in his 20th game of the season tonight. Comes the 0-1. Fastball that floats outside for a ball, and the count now 1-1. Michael has logged 21 innings, has given up 17 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned runs, 10 walks, 13 strikeouts. 1-1 in the dirt on a fastball for a ball. Count 2-1. 2.57 ERA for Sean Michael, a graduating senior from West Texas A&M. Here comes the 2-1. His bounced foul down that first base line, just past Sean Winston, the first base coach for the Miners. Count now even on Matt Diorio, 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 from Michael, and it is low for a ball and inside. They'll fill up the count on Diorio, full 3-2. That home run hit in the bottom of the 7th inning by the Peninsula Oilers, their 8th home run of the season. Miners themselves have only hit 4 home runs this year. Here comes the full count pitch, and he missed outside with it. It was a fastball. And so taking his base is Matt Diorio. Another walk for him, the 3rd walk of the night. Been reaching base all night. And I'll bring up the right fielder, Tanner Nishioka.
That just shows why he has that Miners team spirit. The award he won just yesterday, actually. The host family dinner. Congratulations to him on winning that award.
Miners lead 5-2. Here's the first pitch from Sean Michael. It is flown towards right field. Coming over just barely into foul territory is Brian Room to make the catch. And on one pitch, Tanner Nishioka retired. Now 2 outs. Miners leading 5-2 here in the top of the 8th inning. And I'll bring up Niles Nygaard.
Before the pop-up, talking about that award he won, what I was getting at with that was the fact that he had such a good eye tonight. It's been really helping to spark rallies all night for the Miners with continuing to reach the base pass in whatever way it might be.
Here comes the first pitch from Sean Michael. It's a curveball that misses low and away for a ball to Niles Nygaard, 1-0. He's ready from the stretch and fires the 1-0. Grounded to Jimmy Galuski at short, right at him. He'll flip on to second in time to get Matt Diorio. Fielder's choice retires the side in the top of the 8th. Miners get one on, but they strand him. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Miners 5, Oilers 2. You're listening to Miners Baseball on the Miners Radio Network. Summer is the perfect opportunity to work on your golf game. The Palmer Golf Course is located right in the heart of Palmer, just about 2 miles from Herman Brothers Field. Call 907-745-4653 today for more information. On to the bottom of the 8th. Miners will have a new pitcher leading 5-2. First pitch is a fastball from Corbin Martin that is chopped towards second. And flipping on to first in time is Jake Schleppenbach to new first baseman Hunter Simmons. In time, one gone quickly on one pitch to begin the bottom of the 8th inning. Miners getting a lot of their relievers some work tonight. Corbin Martin, now entering his 17th game of the season, has logged 22 2/3 innings pitched, now 21, by retiring the first batter of this inning. 9 hits, 2 runs, no earned runs. Comes a first pitch from Martin to Brian Room. It's a fastball for a called strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Takes a look in. Now from the windup, the pitch. Fastball swung through from Brian Room. Count 0-2. He's ready again with the 0-2 and misses with a fastball just off the outside corner. Count now 1-2. Corbin Martin has punched out 26 hitters in games and has walked just 12. 1-2 is swung on and missed. A strikeout for Corbin Martin, his first since being into this game. Quickly 2 outs for him. A great curveball there. Got Brian Room to swing through it. And J.J. Hancock applied the tag in time just to make sure. Corbin Martin coming out and throwing some hard pitches, Kyle.
That he is, and now a night that Brian Room would like to forget, now officially 0 for 4, has struck out twice, back consecutive at-bats, and ground into a double play.
Here's the first pitch from Corbin Martin to the number 3 hitter, Mark Sanchez. Ground ball back up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Mark Sanchez will register his second hit of the game, also singled to center back in the 4th inning. 2-out single for the Peninsula Oilers. They trail 5-2 here in the bottom of the 8th, looking to get something going. They now have a runner on first for Brent Diaz. First pitch from Martin is fouled out of play down that first base line to Diaz. Count now 0-1. Diaz today 0 for 2 was hit by a pitch back in the 4th. Grounded out and to third in the 2nd and grounded out to the pitcher back in the 6th. Martin will throw over to check the runner. Sanchez at first. He's back in safely. Takes a look in. Now he's ready with the 0-1. Here it comes. Slider hits the outside corner for a strike. Diaz taking all the way. The count now 0-2. Brent Diaz out of Louisiana Tech. Just finished up his freshman year there. Comes the 0-2. And it's popped straight back and foul. On a solid fastball from Martin that jammed him. Count now 0-2. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Miners ahead by 3. Sanchez gained a decent lead over there at first base. Outfield and infield playing straight away. Here comes the 0-2. It's grounded just foul past Niles Nygaard over there at third base. Count will remain 0-2 on Brent Diaz. Calming down into the upper 60s now as the temperatures here on a beautiful day in Kenai. Here comes the 0-2 again. Fouled off down that first baseline by Diaz towards the Oilers dugout. And the count will remain 0-2. Been a lot of miraculous days for baseball this summer. It's been a dry summer in general up here in Alaska. But it's led to a lot of beautiful baseball. Not really many rainouts this year. Here comes the 0-2. Lined into center field. A base hit. It will drop just in front of Chris Hall. 2 on quickly all of a sudden for the Peninsula Oilers here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And now bring up the home run leader in the league, Ted Boakey, with 2 outs and runners on first and second. 2 big 2-out hits against Corbin Martin, guy who's usually pretty steady with the Oilers with good at-bats against him, Kyle.
You know, Kevin, you stole the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say, really, a situation Corbin Martin's not usually used to. Usually used to getting 1, 2, 3 innings in his work, but here facing a little bit of a jam and the tying run at the plate here.
First pitch to Boakey. Fastball just misses low and in. Count now 1-0. And J.J. Hancock going to have a quick chat with his pitcher, Corbin Martin. That will also signal out the pitching coach, Matt Greeley, here. And what has turned into a big spot, that home run back in the 7th inning, is looming very large right now, Kyle. We're talking about a save situation, and Ted Boeke, a very good batter in this Oilers lineup, one of the best they have, batting with he's the tying run at the plate.
It's a big situation to be in. The Miners, especially wanting to get some momentum, hoping to hold on to this one, especially for the confidence of the bullpen. The Miners looking for the top of the World Series in a couple of days. They'd like to get their bullpen really at the top confidence level as they could possibly be, at least, after a couple of heartbreaking losses earlier in the week to the Pilots with a couple things not going their way late. It'd really be nice for the Miners to be able to get up there and retire the side and get out of the inning here, but especially with Martin here, and get some confidence up and keep the bullpen strong.
Corbin Martin with runners on first and second. 2 2-out singles for the Peninsula Oilers. They trail by 3. Their big hitters at the plate, Ted Boeke. 3 homers on the year for him. And has also driven in 12. Comes that 1-0, and it's a fastball on the outside corner for a strike to Boeke. Out now 1-1. Ted Boeke, an all-star for this Peninsula Oilers team, had an opportunity to participate in the home run derby. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. And it's a slider that gets away from J.J. Hancock. It will go all the way to the backstop. Both runners going to move up. Sanchez over there to third, and now Diaz on to second base. Now all of a sudden, the Oilers make that situation a little more dicey here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Miners up by 3, but as we mentioned, Ted Boeke, the tying run at the plate here for the Oilers. The team that looked pretty down and out of it after giving up 2 runs in the 6th inning to fall behind 5-1. Comes the 2-1. Fastball in the dirt. And now way ahead in the count is Ted Boeke, 3-1.
Something that Corbin Martin can't forget, though, there are 2 outs in the inning, so all he really needs is an out. Any place in the base pass, I'm sure he knows that right now. But still a big spot in this game nonetheless.
3-1. Popped up very softly towards first base. Ted Boeke will slam his bat down as Hunter Simmons makes the catch near the foul line just behind first base to retire the side. But the Oilers threaten. They get 2 on. They bring the tying run to the plate and Ted Boeke, but they can't convert. We head to the 9th here in Kenai with the Miners ahead 5-2. You are listening to Miners Baseball right here on the Miners Radio Network. On to the top of the 9th here in Kenai with the Miners ahead 5-2. Will be a new pitcher for the Peninsula Oilers trying to keep this score right where it's at. It will be Paul Lujan, their main closer, coming in. Pitching another contest. His 17th game that he will enter is logged 21 1/3 innings this year. He's given up 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 walks, 24 strikeouts, and holds a 2-1 record with a .84 ERA. He will face the bottom of this Miners order with Hunter Simmons getting his first at bat. Here comes that first pitch from Paul Lujan, and it's a fastball outside and low for a ball. The count now 1-0. Hunter Simmons checking in defensively in the last inning here for the Miners. Over there at first base. Here comes the 1-0. This one line towards center field, moving towards his left, towards that right center field gap to make the catch is the center fielder James Folks. And on 2 pitches, Paul Lujan retires Hunter Simmons. 1 gone here in the top of the 9th. Miners ahead 5-2. And that'll bring up J.J. Hancock. J.J. Hancock will step in against the righty Paul Lujan of Thornton, Colorado, and West Texas A&M. Here comes the first pitch. His line very softly towards the Miners. Dugout foul. Counting out 1-1. Lujan also out of West Texas A&M, just like his teammate Sean Michael, who came in to pitch the 8th inning. Here comes the 0-1. This one hit high towards right field. Brian Room circling, but not having to move very much as it was hit right at him. And now that one will be caught. 2 gone in the top of the 9th quickly for Paul Lujan. That will bring up the number 9 hitter, Connor Wanhanen. Connor Wanhanen was hit by a pitch back in the 2nd, had an RBI single in the 4th, flew out in the 5th, and grounded out in the 7th. First pitch from Lujan is a called strike at the knees to Connor Wanhanen. Count now 0-1. Lujan, big motion there. Fires the 0-1 pitch, and this one's grounded into right field for a base hit for Connor Wanhanen. Get his 2nd hit of the night as that one was grounded pretty softly between 1st and 2nd, but in the right spot. Another hit for the Miners here in this 9th inning. They lead 5-2, trying to add on to that. I'll bring up the top of the order and Chris Hall. He's already reached base once today with a bunt single back in the 1st. Comes that first pitch from Lujan. This one grounded towards that same hole between 1st and 2nd, but this time it was a nice sliding play to keep it on the infield by the 2nd baseman, Alex Seifert. He'll flip on to 1st in time to retire the side. So 1 hit, but he's stranded there at 1st. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Peninsula Oilers, trailing 5-2 at home at Coral Seymour Memorial Park. You're listening to Miners Baseball right here on the Miners Radio Network. On to the bottom of the 9th, the Miners ahead 5-2 over the Peninsula Oilers. It's brick time as Paskowitz will check on to try and earn his 14th save of the season. Comes in 13 for 13 in save opportunities with a 2-0 record, a .90 ERA, pitching in his 18th game. 20 innings pitched. First pitch to James Folks is a slider that hits the inside corner at the belt for a strike, 0-1. 10 strikeouts and 11 walks, along with 9 hits surrendered for Paskowitz on the year. It's a changeup that is flown towards right field. Not moving very much out there. And circling under it to make the catch is Tanner Nishioka. 1 gone here quickly in the bottom of the 9th. That will bring up the number 7 hitter, J.D. Arrowwood. Closing the book on Corbin Martin tonight. He goes 1 inning, giving up 2 hits, but no runs. Had 20 pitches, 13 strikes, 7 balls. Here comes the first pitch from Paskowitz. Changeup for a called strike at the knees to Arrowwood. Count now 0-1. Miners ahead by 3. Brick trying to lock down his 14th save. Slider swung through and missed for a strike from Arrowwood. He's quickly behind the count 0-2. Arrowwood with 2 singles today and 1 flyout. Here comes the 0-2. Fastball swung on and missed by Arrowwood, and Paskowitz retires him in just 3 pitches here. His 11th strikeout of the season, and the Oilers here trying to get something going, down 5-2, but already 2 outs on him. I'll bring up Hector Rivera. Hector Rivera today is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Here comes the first pitch. It's a strike on the outside corner with a changeup. Count now 0-1. He's quickly ready. Here comes the 0-1. And it's a slider that misses low and away for a ball from Paskowitz. Count now 1-1. The speedy Hector Rivera trying to reach. Here comes the 1-1. Swings right through that fastball and misses just above the belt. And the count now 1-2. Brick can lock it down right here for his 14th save if he can retire Rivera. And that slider. The 1-2 pitch is a slider that bounces in the dirt and goes all the way to the backstop. Count 2-2. No damage done. There's no one on base. Here comes the 2-2. Way inside for a ball. Another fastball from Paskowitz. I'll run the count full on Rivera, 3-2. Trying to reach for the first time today to extend this ball game and bring up Jimmy Galuski.